Hey everybody, what's going on? It's the Dungeon Delver back here with you with kind of an interesting sort of deep dive yet on the news front about something that's near and dear to my heart. Now, some of you may look at this and think it's a bit of a nothing burger. I think at the very least it's a needle move in the right direction for something that Wizards of the Coast has been kind of teasing about since 2023. But before we get into that, please, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications about this and all of our other videos, including our live streams, our guest live streams, our actual plays, and other interstitial news kind of videos. It really helps if you like this video to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below and tell me what you liked about it. So with all of that said, with a call to action done, let's go ahead and take a look at this, because this is kind of an interesting topic, and it's something that has really sort of been on my mind for a while. And I get it if you don't give a darn what Wizards of the Coast says or does. I completely understand, but this was some news that slipped under the radar, and I really felt like I owed it to my community to bring this to you, because this was discussed, as I found out, back in May. So a little bit of a setup for this. D&D Beyond is the sort of software web-based portal that Wizards of the Coast uses to manage Dungeons and Dragons on a digital side. Of course, you see everybody these days, smartphones, laptops, tablets, PCs, what have you, to assist in the running of their games. Well, as they are now pushing out 6th edition, yes, Wizards of the Coast, I'm sorry, it's called 6th edition. There was some concern because people were seeing that all the old rules, things that were not grandfathered forward into 6th edition, that is, things from 5th edition, were being deprecated, and you'd have to go to your notes and 5th edition books and so on. To which I say, so what? You know, oh my gosh, you have to read a book. Well, but be that as it may, it did kind of cause some controversy. And as it wasn't really something that impacted us here in the old school side of things, I didn't really deem it worthy of that much news. And Wizards of the Coast kind of backed down from that point of view pretty quickly. Once again, it was a PR fumble for them. It must be a day ending in Y, with Wizards of the Coast making a PR fumble. So they issued on Twitter yesterday, they issued a retraction, and let's go ahead and take a look at that here. So this popped up last night, and it said, last week we released a changelog detailing how players would experience the 2024 core rulebooks on D&D Beyond. We heard your feedback loud and clear, and thank you for speaking up. Read the full update here. And then, of course, it says D&D Beyond players who only have access to the 2014 Player's Handbook will maintain their characters' options, spells, and magical items in their character sheets. Players with access to the 2024 and 2014 Digital Player's Handbook can select from both sources when creating new characters. Players will not need to rely on Homebrew to use their 2014 player options, including spells and magic items, as recommended in previous change logs. And they've got a link there, which I will put down below in the description. So let's take a minute to absorb that. They were getting ready to knock the old edition out of the way in favor of the new. Maybe they're learning something about fans who like older editions, because 5e fans, as much as I hate to tell you, you're going to be the grog nerds in a couple of months, if not already. So when I saw this, and I saw the information about change logs, I asked the question here, and I'm going to admit, maybe it came across a little snarky, but I asked a question down here, and I said, cool, For your next trick, put classic versions of D&D under the Creative Commons like you said you were going to do last year. And what I'm referring to there is this community update on D&D Beyond. And if you look over here, it says review previous SRD editions for inclusion in Creative Commons. So we didn't I didn't really know what that meant. Review previous SRD editions for inclusion in Creative Commons. Review it when, review it how. So I kind of clung on to a little bit of hope and hoped that maybe we'd see actual older editions included under the Creative Commons. Maybe I'm a little foolish for thinking that they might do that, but it seemed to fall by the wayside. So if we go back to the Twitter thread, a few people, and I'm not just tooting my own horn on this Twitter thread, someone asked, can we update the request? I said, I'd love to hear that they'd actually done it, but we're probably talking the wrong place. Wizards D&D are the ones who'll make that decision, and that's true. And then I had this post here from this individual that says they did do an update on this at some convention. They're still editing them to remove copyrighted material, and I think they said Q1 2025. And so we come over to Conrad Rothko, and I want to thank everyone who's responded politely in this thread about this. You guys are awesome, and I really, really appreciate it. So once again, a link I'll share with you guys. Let's take a look at this. So we see, oh, no thanks. 2024 core rulebooks to expand the SRD. And if we go down a little bit and look at this, what about the SRD for previous editions? Because we still need to complete reviews on those materials before they're released into Creative Commons, we made the decision to wait after the 2024 rules revisions were released to begin reviews of those documents. So, this actually, again, this dropped on May 6th or 7th. And I'll link to all of this, but they haven't been idle. SRDs for previous editions are under review. Now, we're not going to get it straight away. And if you recall, I did speak to Stephen Radney McFarland about this when we had him on the show as a guest. That this is something that's going to take a lot of consideration on their part. Now, the question, of course, comes with something like this for a major corporation. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is this going to pay off for them to the point where they feel like, yeah, this was worth doing? And as I've said time and time again to people who are looking to get into first edition AD&D or original D&D or basic Dungeons and Dragons or even second edition or third edition, if you really want to see your corner of the hobby grow, if you really want to see it continue to flourish and not just die on the vine where nobody cares and books wither away and become unobtainium except on eBay and nobody wants to play as a result of that, if you really do, go to Drive-Thru-RPG. Or even the D&D Classics section of the DM's Guild and get print on demand. Or if it's not available print on demand, get PDFs that you can then print out yourselves. Show Wizards of the Coast that the juice is worth the squeeze if you want your game to flourish beyond just your table. If you want to see the local conventions, the local game days, and that sort of thing to support it, more than just you being some curiosity or just, you just show up with your friends and game there instead of at your house or on Roll20, then absolutely positively show them that the juice is worth the squeeze. And again, I'm not a shill for or a fan of Wizards of the Coast in the least. I love first edition AD&D. I love original D&D. I really, really like most of the basic versions of D&D, and I know a lot of you folks love second and third, and yeah, even fourth, and various flavors of basic. So all I'm saying is that they are currently looking at this. They say that they're going to dive into this, and this was back when I thought that this was just something, that this was just a sop, and that the whole affair had basically died on the vine. And then last night, literally just before I went to bed, all this cool information rolls in off of Twitter. And so I definitely feel like there's an opportunity here. And I hope folks won't let this just go by the wayside. So keep an eye on these things. You know, I reached out, and for the most part, people were very cool and very positive about this. So, you know, let's kind of keep the positivity going, and I'll let you guys know the more I found out about this, the more information I get about this. Of course, you know, the holidays are going to be an exceptionally busy time. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I want to do for the community, and I know everybody gets busy then. But after the first of the year, I really hope to see some positive activity here from Wizards of the Coast, and I will continue to ride herd on this for you guys. All right, I will let you know what's coming and when it's coming as soon as I can. And again, this slipped under my radar back in May, but I had to bring this to you guys. Okay. So maybe you think it's a nothing burger. And if that's the case, leave a comment down below and say so. I totally understand. But guys, until then, keep your eyes on the internet and on the game table, and I'll catch you in the next video, whether it's another live stream or whether it's more news. But until then, be good to each other. Peace.